it's been so chaotic lately between my work schedule, between doing all my day stuff I gotta get done, the single cab messing up, and everything in between. It's been hard to get some videos uploaded like I want. So I got some surprises coming for the single cab, I got some surprises coming for the crew cab, but we gotta get some problems worked out with the single cab before we can move on to the other problems. So with that being said, our not last upload, but the upload before last, we posted the reveal of the single cab, 750, 800 horsepower, and in the video, we showed where we had some problems. I didn't go into detail on it yet because I wasn't 100% sure that the truck was not just bleeding out some air in the fuel lines or just some small stuff. So drove it for about a week after that, and the symptoms just kept on happening. They're actually getting worse. So I contacted my diesel mechanic, we talked it over, we exchanged some ideas, and obviously the best route is to data log. So brought it back to him, he data logged it, and through some data logging, we sent it to our tuner that we are in hand-to-hand with, and he sent back another tune, we reflashed it on, and the problem just got way worse. So the truck wouldn't auto-ride, it was just chattering all the time, it wanted to shut off. So obviously it's a fuel problem, or air, but we already worked out all the ideas on the air. It wasn't the air, it wasn't no sensor, it wasn't the mass sensor, it wasn't none of that. So it had to be fuel. So we looked at the FPR, we looked at the FPRV, we looked at the fast to make sure the pressure was right. It's still stock, 8 to 10 PSI from the fast. We made sure the tank was clean, and we done everything that we could do to eliminate stuff. We looked at the fuel pressure sensor to make sure it wasn't defective or bad, to make sure it was reading the proper amount of voltage. And we did some more data logging, sent it to our tuner. He come back, and through a lot of talking and a lot of doing different data logs, we believe our S&S pump that we bought may have had a defective FPR, which is fuel pressure regulator, for those that don't know. We can't completely rule that out yet, and I contacted S&S this morning, and they're wanting us to send over all of our data logs. Once we send over our data logs, they'll review it and see if we're missing something that it could be, and if it ends up being the FPR, then they will warranty it. They said once they get the data logs, they'll look it over, and if we believe that that's the problem, we'll send them the FPR that come on the S&S 12mm pump. They'll do an in-house inspection on that regulator, and if it is bad or defective from factory, then they'll warranty it. But hopefully it's not the pump. S&S is a really good known brand pump, so it's hard to believe it's the pump, which is why we looked at every other angle before we believed it was the fuel pressure regulator. But through several data logs, flashing on several different tunes to see if it would run right, it just won't run right. So a little bit of idea of what it's doing, I'll leave a video right here for you guys to see. Do it again. Dying. It's dying. So just that video right there, it did that 3 or 4 different times. So if I'm cruising down the road, 50, 60, 70, and I get on it, maybe half throttle, maybe even a quarter throttle, run it up to about 30 pounds of boost, and I let off and just continue driving normal, nothing messes up. But anytime I'm in third gear and I do quarter throttle, a little bit, maybe even half throttle, up to about 30 PSI, which is around 5th gear at that moment, and then I let off and then I come to a stop like I'm pulling into a driveway or turning on a road or something, then the truck's fuel rail pressure just falls and it just wants to kill and shut off, as the video showed. So that was one of the symptoms we were having, but then also in between shifts, it just wasn't shifting right. The desired fuel pressure and the fuel pressure itself, they stayed pretty consecutively with each other, except between 3rd gear and 5th gear when you got on it, as shown in the video. So we knew that wasn't right, and we started tackling some ideas, and that's to the conclusion that we come up with. So with that being said, we're loading up tomorrow, and we are going to bring the truck to our tuner, and he is going to do some data logging on it. He's going to do some finer tuning to it and see if he can narrow something down before we send our fuel pressure regulator to SNS. We're going to send him to SNS some more data logs, and hopefully we can get this thing running right. It's been a journey. It's been a chore, a lot different than most. And I really didn't expect it coming from the single cab, but anything happens nowadays, and you just gotta take it each step as it comes. Request the many have asked for has finally arrived. 1 week I have been waiting personally a very long time for, just haven't had the moment to do it. And now it's our time to shine. That is right. If they don't work one way, you just flip it over and it works the other way. Well, might help if you turn the high beams on now. High beams are on. Flip it. Snap. Spot. Put this bad boy in. Yes, I am that guy that puts extra gasket maker on the back of his lights to ensure proper sealing, because nowadays stuff just doesn't seal right and I don't want moisture in my headlights. So I'm going to put a little bit of extra gasket maker on the back of these things for proper sealing. Don't want no moisture in our light. Yes, you don't have to, I don't know that, but just who I am, I don't want to take no chances. Time to install this. Took the glove box lid off. Dump this out. So, show you guys how this goes on. I didn't want to bore you guys with the headlight install. Probably a lot of videos already out there. You're gonna look for the high lamp, daylight runnings, fog lamp, and then the high. You're gonna pull all those out, which is gonna be this one. This one. 866, another 866. Put this one back. And then this bad boy is gonna lay right in here. Figure out which way it goes. Fog lamp. Haha. Fog lamp comes out too, boys. Should have known that. And that falls right in there like so. Gotta make sure my little wire there, my self-tapper wire, is not in the way. And I believe it's going to be, so what we're gonna have to do, we're going to pull it out as well. And then we'll have to put it back on top of everything. Little devil. I'm gonna pull it out. Lay it all down in there. And then you're gonna start putting it all back. Actually, I'm gonna clean it real fast. Then I'll be back. Okay, so I wiped it down, put alcohol on a rag, wiped it in there, and then I blew it out. Just to create some improper grounding, just for safety measures. Whoop, hope that didn't go bad. I'm not gonna put them all the way down just yet until we get most of them in, just so we know that everything's properly seated. before we push them down. Get this one that fell. Now that they're all in, we'll push them down. Nice and snug. And she's in. Now I'll put that wire back in there and put that tent on. And that fleece all-in-one mod is done. Here the finished product is with the new headlights. Doesn't it look so good? So much better than the amber. So much cleaner of a look all the way around. Truck needs a bath after being at the diesel mechanic shop all week. But boy, does it clean up good every time. The headlights I did buy off of Amazon. I did a lot of research on them before I bought them. They were all 5 stars, and I had about 500 reviews on them. And even at that, I got on their actual website and I did reviews on them as well, just because you can't always go off what everybody says off of Amazon. But overall, they seemed very good quality. They were just as heavy as the old projectile headlights that came in the truck. And really, in my own opinion, there's not a whole lot of headlights for the 03 through 07 model as far as GMC and Chevy in the cat eye versions that really look good, and they really just make the vehicle pop. But not alone that, it seems like every single one of them get moisture behind the headlights, and I'm just not key to that. So I always add extra gasket seal maker to everything when I put them on the trucks, just so I have extra protection, knowing that they're sealed properly. Now, I probably should have took the headlight housings apart and probably sealed them from the back as well, but I didn't. So hopefully we won't have no problems there. But as far as that goes, I also changed the fog lights. I changed all of the daylight running lights. I changed the turn signals to sequential, like switchback style with the tone mirrors. And then I changed a little 194 bulb right here on the side. And then we did all new high, all new low bulbs to match their Recon switchbacks on top. The LED Recon cab lights. Just so all the lights are in sequence. So they're all white. They're all 6500 white. It's not all mix and match white. I wanted all my lights to be the exact same white. This product, all of it's on. I have the all-in-one mod activated right now, so highs and lows are all shining with the fogs, and it is bright. I'm excited to see what it looks like outside. Let's go in here and turn on the underglows. I actually hid the switch right down here so it's not noticeable. Show you guys the sequential turn signals activated. Well, tomorrow we will take this to our Go Fast guy, let him data log it, let him find all the errors in the engine and figure out why it is doing what it is doing. So Stay tuned, guys. So I just started it to just see a little bit of what it's doing. Look how off the desired rail pressure is versus the fuel rail pressure. That is crazy. Usually at idle, they're supposed to be around 5.8. And it is at 7.2. But then you're at 29 for fuel rail pressure. That's way off.